December 18th, 2019, county court is in session for the regular part of our agenda. Following voucher approval, we'll begin with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome.
I move to approve the Harney County Court meeting minutes of December 4th, 2019.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve December 4th, 2019 county court minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Before we start public comment, I have one addition to the, or actually, two additions under old business. Commissioner Owens will give a report on water, and we would have second reading on the Harney County Workforce Roadmap that we had the first reading on last meeting. Get that into it. And we have one anniversary to recognize. Virginia Lopez, she is in the public health department, been an amazing WIC coordinator. She's certified in translation, bilingual, very, very valuable to us. She's been with us 5 years, started on December 2nd of 14. And we will get this key up to the county for her. Okay, opportunity. That's a little key. Doesn't open anybody. Opportunity for public comment.
Question, and I'll probably heard you talking about this, just wondering on the status of looking for agreement to change the bill.
We are, so we're still 2 to 3 years out on the city part of it that we keep working through. There's studies going on, 2 different grants in motion. One grant and dollars from the legislature to help us through the certification of the Silvies levy. Still trying to get numbers we think are more accurate than what FEMA's puts in front of us. You know, to me, the ultimate goal is to get that floodplain moved back towards the river, not so far up in the downtown area. So 2 to 3 years was the last meeting we had.
How about the county?
The county is in pretty good shape.
So county maps, we seek to do as Joe is referencing. So county maps outside of the city limits of Burns and Hines in that area should be approved within a year. That takes out a lot more than they put in. There was a little snag on that for the last FEMA meeting. They were trying to include some, but they said they weren't going to include, so we pushed back a little. We're supposed to have an answer on that in a couple months. The other ones, like Joe referred to, there's 2 pots of money. One pot of money, we hired Ferguson Engineering to look at the culvert and structures to understand how the water flows through town. That should really eliminate some of the flooding. Then we also hired a contractor to look at mitigation efforts, the possible free mitigation efforts to eliminate the flooding. That'll be another 2 to 3 year process in order to get that then finalized. FEMA actually came up with another pot of money also to help us with some more structures. But county maps, I think within a year.
Insurance costs went up.
I mean, that started in 11. We started these meetings.
Oh, I know.
Everybody has to be in here before we get through.
I know there's a grassy person calling me and telling me that our place is out.
I got his phone number.
I went with his daughter.
Yeah.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah. Other public comment?
Hi, Desert
Lynn?
Park and Rec from Lynn McClintock. Our trail's gonna need a lot of work this spring, and just wanted to let you know, a lot of weed control and maybe new gravel as we go through the process. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay, Eric's hearing this.
We're going to try to work it into our budget, some of it, but we'd like some support as well, of labor maybe, but the new gravel possibly coming from our budget is our agreement with Lewis County.
Well, I'm sure Eric, the department, and Jim, the weed department will work with you and together, and with Herb too, since he spends a lot of time out there.
We just discussed that. Herb's out.
Herb's
Oh,
out?
Herb's out.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
just has, we've gotten
No
past
Herb
the
zone.
gravel into the dirt now, and all of our gravel, because he likes to walk on it just like the rest of us, and we appreciate what Herb has done. It's just going deeper now into the dirt, because it's difficult, as I found out at last county court, to plow gravel. So we are at a state where we're at dirt, and we have mud puddles and mud more so when it's not frozen.
so you're thinking spring after the snow's off?
Yes, start early, and then I don't think it would be worth pulling up the old gravel because of the weeds, and it would just bring them back onto the trail, and there we would have a thicket of weeds that don't die very well with the weed spray that we use. So, we are thinking new gravel, which would be expensive, but we're willing to look at that in our budget.
How long is
Glad
the
they're
trail?
together.
Pardon?
How long is the trail?
1.5 miles.
What type of herbicide do you use, or is there herbicide limitations you can use because it's a public trail?
Jim does use one that's less toxic because it is, and we put signs out even though it's closed, and people still complain that their animals are running out there, and we've even put tape across it and saying, it's just closed for 12 hours, come back this evening, and we still have some complaints.
To go out at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
to help avoid folks and problems, and still catch.
And it's posted a good 5 days before. We'll try harder to make it, but it's just something that will need some more attention than we've done in the last couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple of things. Does everyone else?
Any other public comment? For sure.
Okay, and I just wanted to, on behalf of County Court, recognize that our emergency manager, Paul Gray, has earned a certificate of completion from the FEMA National Emergency Management Basic Academy, which is, I mean, a lot of our employees do very good trainings, but this is really, Paul works tirelessly for Harney County, and this was extensive training that he's completed, and it took considerable time and effort and dedication, and this is just a good thing for Harney County, his knowledge. And then the second thing was that the Harney County Alert Sense wolf sighting protocol is working well. We had the Wolf Advisory Committee, the Harney County Sheriff Office Dispatch, and ODFW had all tried to launch, having an alert sense. If you sign up, you'll get a text or an email or both if there is a confirmed sighting of a wolf in Harney County, and that happened the last couple of days, and it worked very well. And Tom Sharp, who's the president of the Oregon Cattlemen's Association, sent an email to us saying, I want to thank Harney County and Harney County Sheriff Office Dispatch for sending the alert sense notification received this morning of a possible wolf in my area. This is an excellent example of timely landowner notification of reports received by the Sheriff's Office. I've also shared this report notification as a best practice example of what is possible in alert system technology to my Wolf Committee chairs and other board members at the Oregon Cattlemen's Association, Tom Sharp. So there may be more people that want to sign up in the future. So anyway, I just wanted to say that was kind of good news that worked well.
Was that confirmed that it was a wolf?
By ODFW, yes. By camera and tracks. In the snow. Yeah.
One of those signs was pretty close to town.
Yeah.
Right in the junction. Am I
Correct,
right?
correct, correct. And so,
Get your rifles out.
did you really say that?
For personal protection.
Yeah. Oh,
I would follow up on Paul Gray. He's gone to a lot of classes that are trained the trainers. So he's now a certified trainer for several of the courses that have to be taken, which means we don't have to send 2 or 3 deputies out of town or different people out of town to get trained. A lot of it can be done here now. Plus, it can bring he can hold forth there and bring people from other counties, so sending one person is gonna be very beneficial to us in other ways.
Thank you.
While we're on
Thank
the
you.
comments, the court, a couple weeks ago, mentioned that we were gonna publish in the paper some audited numbers with some dialogue on where the $2.3 million went. We've got all those audited numbers, we've agreed on some dialogue. The next step now is we're waiting for Oysters to confirm the numbers, even though they're the ones that gave us the numbers. You use any of their numbers for publication, it has to get approved. Hopefully we'll get it back by Friday and it'll go in the paper. So it'll be a half page or a page, depending on the size that's needed. It'll show the net position of the county from 2014, 2018, and how that comes down to a minus 2.3 million. It'll show the net cost of each general fund department, and then how that went up from 2014, 2018, and you add up the increase of the net cost of each department, it equals 2.3 million. And it'll have the narrative. So it'll show where the money went. It'll also show the amount of general fund departments that were over budget for a period of time. There were only one or two. But it should hopefully clarify, you can visually see where the 2.3 million went. And it'll have some explanation of why that happened, how the policies and procedures have been corrected, so it won't happen again.
On our watch.
Yeah.
Thank you. Move on to old business.
Water, so we had, what I coined the week of water last week. So we had the water collaborative, and then we had a day and a half of groundwater advisory committee. It's the last groundwater advisory committee meeting. They presented the near final numbers. The reason I say near is they have to go into peer review, USGS has to get a peer review. We won't have a published report for 10 months. But the numbers that came out, on the water budget, it says that the basin is using 120 to 130,000 acre feet of water more than is coming in. And the amount of irrigation in the county is 120 to 130,000 acre feet. I believe that the numbers that are in the study are correct. I believe the data that was collected is correct. Now I believe that we have to build credibility in the interpolation of that data in the study. And the way we'll build credibility in the interpolation of that data in the study is making sure that we can do management changes on the ground in a controlled, precise manner to try to get desired outcome. That way our community can understand whether the changes we're making reflect the changes that should be occurring in the study. It's going to be a tough conversation. It's fairly black and white on the numbers. We have a lot of work to do. The Groundwater Advisory Committee asked the state to provide 3 things in the interim until that 10 months. One, the Greater Harney Valley groundwater area of concern is approximately 3.1 million acres. Currently, it's in that designation. They're probably going to change that designation of that whole 3.1 million acres, maybe to a significant water management problem area or to a critical groundwater designation. But inside that 3.1 million acres, there's definitely 3 to 4 hotspots where management is going to need to change sooner rather than later. We've asked them to delineate those on the map so we understand the people that will be affected and that we can start those conversations. We've asked them to provide what is the base rate of decline of groundwater in that area. Where is that measured and where will that be measured in the future? And we've asked them to provide us the base rate of water usage in those areas. Until we understand that, we can't start the discussion on the community level, whether we want to look at regulation, have the state come and evaluate, or we want to look at some sort of volunteer agreement. That's what we've asked the state to provide us. They said they would provide that by February. Once we have that information, we'll understand the users in the community that will be directly affected in those areas, and we can start those conversations. Don't know where it goes. I just honestly believe we have to now go through it methodically in over 10, 20, 30 years in order to see if the data they collected, the published coefficients they've used, actually relate here in our basin. But it's what we're going to be managed off of. Great news.
Thank you for that update. Long process. Item 1 under old business land lot sale, we this is on the agenda, last court meeting, I went to verify that there is old structure and junk on this property, and there is. This just acknowledges that we agreed to allowing, this is a 25% sell, that we authorize it to go forward to be purchased, a purchase of county land, county-owned land. And it's that green parcel, it's the back half of this lot right here. So, I did verify. An individual purchases it for 25% of the real market value, he has 6 months to clean the property up, and we keep the title over to him, and it gets it back on the tax roll.
So what's the difference in the 25%?
It is, the real market value is $7,680. So 25% is just under $2,000.
So you believe that it would cost more than $5,000 to clean the property up? What are your recommendations?
Now, it depends how much you do yourself or you contract it out. I mean,
But that's the evaluation we're making.
Right.
That's the.
Better build some foreclosed lot without any tax, to be honest, it's, cleans it up, puts it back on the roll, so I mean, it's a,
It's 0.16 acres.
it's not,
That is best, and we're decreasing the value by roughly 5,000, assuming that the cleanup would cost that, would decrease on the value of the property.
so. It's acknowledgement, it's not really a motion.
So they have 6 months in order for somebody to go check to make sure they cleaned it up, pay before they get it.
Well, they pay for up front, and then, but they don't eat it over time. They got three terms of cleaning it up. So we'll move forward on that.
We hold the deed on it until the correct we did on that.
Old business, added item, second reading of the Harney County Workforce Roadmap. That was on our agenda last month. It was something an ordinance that we didn't do as an emergency, so it requires 2 readings. So I would make a motion to approve ordinance number 2019-92 in regards to establishing Harney County Workforce Roadmap 2019 as a supporting document to the county comprehensive plan by reference.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2019-92 in regards to establishing Harney County Workforce Roadmap 2019 as a supporting document to the county comprehensive plan by reference. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meg, I'm thinking we signed that last meeting. I think we got ahead of ourselves.
I think so too. We can reprint.
Reprint, change that.
Yeah.
Item under E, new business, first item, Mr. Gober's here to give us an NRAC report, committee report.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Merry
here.
Christmas, everybody.
Thank you.
My compliments to the way you've rearranged the room here. It's much more conducive to input, which is what we're talking about here with this committee. I will be brief because you've got a long agenda. I want to thank you for the appointment, my appointment, and also on behalf of all the group. What a great group of intelligent, educated, dedicated people to the future of Harney County. I think they have great vision. They're enthusiastic, and if you really think this through, this group can be your offensive in solving difficult problems and taking some of the burden off your back. I assume that's what you have in mind.
Exactly.
And as a result of that, at the last meeting, there was a pretty significant request that we need something to do. We've heard from the Forest Service, BLM, and ODFW in the 2 meetings we've had, and it was information, basically. But people are ready to go to work, so the burden is in your court to tell us what you want from us. You heard a report from George Hines on the first 2 meetings with BLM and the Forest Service, and basically their presentations were about a work program for the next year. It wasn't anything alarming, I don't think. I would say from my personal experience recently that BLM has an improving, positive attitude of cooperation with landowners and permittees, and that's very positive. So let's talk about ODFW. You're smiling.
Almost all.
I'm going to preface what I'm going to say. Part of this is personal experience. I was the chair of the Wildlife Committee for OCA for 10 years, and I spent hours and hours and numerous trips to Salem, LeGrand, and John Day to try to deal with a number of issues that were affecting the landowners. Primarily the LOP program and how oppressive it is for the people that provide all the forage and habitat for the big game animals. And the second thing is the overabundance of elk, and nothing can be done about it, it appears to be. And the third thing is the decline in the deer population. And anybody that went hunting this year certainly is aware of the decline in the deer population. I've hunted 50 years at the Grizzly Field Ranch, and this is the first year we did not kill an elk. Well, that is just phenomenal. We usually get 4 or 5. The one buck deer who had horns about this big was a bandy. And the favorite term, and I chastise Rod for this, that they use in explaining how they do their work, is they have a toolbox. And I told him your damn toolbox is empty, and it's been empty for a long time. You've got to do something to change it. And nothing happened. And I think you have a responsibility to put some emphasis on changing the way they do things. Bottom line here is, what's the economic impact in Harney County for hunters that come here and spend thousands and thousands of dollars locally? And you talk to people, I have, they're not going to hunt here anymore. They're going to go to Idaho. They're going to go someplace where there's game. Poor management. The other thing that came up at the meeting was the Forest Service and the fact that we don't salvage dead trees. And you all know the reasons for that, but I think there's an opportunity here to make an effort to do something about salvaging dead trees. And if you get out in the forest, I don't know how many of you do, but there's dead trees everywhere. It's just sickening. Last thing is, we intend at the January meeting to establish some objectives for 2020. And I think your input would be very much appreciated in that. That's my report. Wilbur has an ER in it, not a UR.
At least we're consistent.
My dad used to go up the wall.
There was Bill, was there 2 recommendations that came from the last interact to the court? I believe they were, one was that they would like the court support some sort of regional predator control,
Yeah.
possibly the utilization of dogs.
Yes.
Feel that one of the reasons our deer herd is decimated is because of predators. So that's a loose support if anything comes up in the legislative session, or we can work with senators and representatives to try to figure that out. That'd be great.
I forgot about that because I was thinking about the wolf that showed up here. Because that was one discussion about wolves. People see tracks all the time, but they haven't seen them physically. But the cougar situation is definitely an issue, and people that hunt, they know that. It's just, God help me, the toolbox is empty. Is the answer you get?
And the other recommendation that they would like the court to consider is that we know deer numbers are down, but it doesn't seem to be the appetite in order to work through that. One of the things that became obvious in our interact meeting was the amount of tags that are issued, specifically archery tags. So archery tags are still not a draw system, so if you don't receive a rifle tag, you can go in and get a over-the-counter archery tag. It sometimes seems that if your revenue is by selling tags, that sometimes you have a hard time limiting tags. So the recommendation from the NRAC was that we should support the choosing of a weapon. So make either archery and rifle a draw, you have to choose which one you'd like to participate in. I'll finalize those recommendations in the minutes, which I haven't got done, so the court, when we have opportunity, can decide to work on those recommendations. I think that was the big intent, was to give the court some guidance or some things that we can help with the legislative process and start conversations on.
Recognize that's will be a hot button issue with the Oregon Hunters Association. A really hot button. And the LOP program to restructure that is a really hot button item with them also.
And Rod did say there was some conversation about restructuring the LOP program.
Can you give me just a little more information on the LOP program, the restructure issue?
How to restructure.
Why? What's happening there?
Well, this is my opinion, and having tried to fix it for landowners for a long time, elk are a critter that will stay in your alfalfa patch for 90 days, and then the hunting season comes along and they leave. So if you're a law-abiding landowner, you can't hunt them off of the property that you're passionate about. Here, Idaho State did a study a number of years ago. Mature elk will eat 16 pounds of forage a day. Well, you think about your alfalfa patch with 100 head of elk in there every night. It's an incredible economic hit. So that's one opportunity, is to pay for damage, as they do in Nevada. And the other one is to allow the landowner to hunt off the property if they have evidence that they've been supporting elk or deer.
I have just a little clarity on that one. I think Mr. Wilbur's correct there. There was some work on Senate Bill 301 last year in order to help with deprivation of elk. They actually produced some new rules for damage tags. They just didn't include Southeast Oregon. So we could get that expanded into Southeast Oregon, it would help. The second issue with the landowner preference tags is that before, if you used to have the amount of acreage, you would get your landowner preference tag, period. Now they've gone to limiting the amount of landowner preference tags that are available. So some of those landowners that feed those deer year-round don't even have the opportunity to harvest them. And I think that's also a recommendation, probably to come forward, that if you own land in Harney County at a certain size, you should go get a landowner preference tag.
I participated in 3 rewrites of the LOP program. I was the only representative of the OCA, and only one of 2 landowners present for those meetings. The rest of them were hunters and/or attached groups, like Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. They don't own any land. Sheep hunters, they don't own any land. On and on and on. And we're outnumbered and outgunned, and the staff doesn't give them rent. They want to sell tags. That's where they get paid.
Well, Bill, I'd have to say it might not be the staff. It might be farther up the food chain.
Well, but
Okay.
once again, from my experience, that staff influences the commission substantially. And I've watched them and been around them a long time. They typically do what the staff wants them to do.
When you say staff, you're not referring to the staff that sits at our local VFW.
Yeah, the senior staff.
I have a question to include maybe Commissioner Owens' thoughts on this as well. So the BIC, the Blue Mountain Blues Intergovernmental Council, that is going to be very involved with the rewrite of a Blue Mountain Forest Plan. That's an area where Eastern Oregon County commissioners, et cetera, will be very involved, and would the NRAC be the people in the vehicle here for us to involve you in the future for helping guide the input we need to make sure we're representing? What are your thoughts?
So the Blue Intergovernmental Council is going to be a government-to-government forum in order to work on the Blue Mountain Forest Plan. part of that council is going to be subcommittees. So if you're on the council, which we will be, we can help populate subcommittees to bring information ideas forward. So I believe some of the ones that we want to look at would be Interact, OCA, Farm Bureau, and the general public to help some of this. Secondly, the commissioner's position is we're going to be real time in the writing of the plan. So monthly, we will see sections of the plan where we can bring back to our community and work through it. But I think that'd be a great place to bring that to the Interact, get advice so we can go back and put it there.
The elk issue is a huge problem in East Oregon, but also in parts of Western Oregon. They have an equally overpopulation.
Question, did the letter from Jerry Miller make it Interact?
I don't believe it's made it to Interact. A couple of us have followed up with Jerry.
Had to do with just now the Wildlife Refuge. Did you see the article in the Bernstein's Herald a few couple week editions ago from Jerry Miller?
It was a letter that,
Yeah, that was the kind of thing where I thought I'd like to hear, see if that's even something that NRAC would be able to get an audit. If someone has that issue, they can come to county court, of course, but would that be a place for them to also discuss something
Seems to
like
me.
that?
That's an
Yeah,
opportunity.
I see that too. I mean, if it turns out you've got too much on your plate, then that's.
The more information that we can gather on any issue that's natural resource related, that's our role, I think.
we're finding that quarterly meetings for 2 to 3 hours is probably not going to be sufficient. Even the 3 hour or hour and a half meetings we're having monthly, we spend more time discussing the first agenda items and actually moving forward. And we'll figure that out.
I will tell you, as the chair of that group, it's difficult to keep the crew from going off in the weeds on stuff, though, because somebody says something, man, away they go.
I never go down a rabbit trail.
Thank you for the opportunity to.
Thank you. Thanks for being volunteering to be part of that.
Thanks, Bill.
And Merry Christmas to you.
And you're supposed to stick around for the rest of the meeting.
I'm interested.
All right, item 2, court order, the matter of appointment of Harney County Sheriff to fill a vacancy until the next general election, that'd be Dan Jenkins.
We want to fill in Dan's name into it?
So this, we have it in place, he will be sworn in on January 2nd. Okay, we won't meet again prior to, so
This is simply ratifying her decision in county court. So we'll have something on the record. We did the same thing for county assessors.
Take a motion to approve court order in the matter of the appointment of Harney County Sheriff to fill a vacancy until the next general election. Dan Jenkins, effective January 2nd, 2020.
January 2nd.
well, it's gonna be the second. That way, because midnight hits, we have coverage. Even though
Okay.
Dave goes to midnight,
All right,
but
I just,
midnight on, we can't.
based on his motion, I just wanted clarification.
Second, if you're right.
Okay, I second.
Been moved and seconded to appoint Dan Jenkins, the matter of the appointment of Harney County Sheriff to fill a vacancy until the next general election, I need Dan Jenkins. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carried.
So I'm just gonna go over it, I never told you it was. So after the last county court meeting where we had the public process to, fill the interim county sheriff, the county court never talked about how we were gonna notify all 3 of those gentlemen. Even though it was done in a public forum, we should have had a plan. We made a mistake there. Some of the people that were defective found out on Facebook, and that was wrong. The county court will make sure that when we do that type of an appointment process again, that even if it's a general here, we will stop, call before somebody puts it on Facebook. The wife of one of the ones that wasn't selected saw it on Facebook and called the gentleman, and that's how he put it down. That was a mistake. Make sure it doesn't happen again.
And we've done that before, we've always had an exit plan on who's gonna call who, and we just, I think it was the weight of the public meeting, and they did, I take responsibility.
It'd be
We all
great
take responsibility, but we should.
it'd be great if it's something that showed in the paper, so we apologize for that. Sam was always a lot more responsive than you.
She's female. I want to.
Item 3, Community Advisory Council application, Sarah Kate.
Actually, Savannah Kate.
Savannah,
Savannah Kate.
thank you. And I'll let you.
So,
This one here.
right, the local community advisory council for the Eastern Oregon Coordinated Care Organization. So this is a group that we have here locally, and we try to seek to have a variety of members. They weigh in on our Medicaid population and how best to serve them with the coordinated care system that Oregon has for a lot of this work. And so Savannah Kate has applied to be a voting member of this. She has been coming to these meetings for a long time. She's very well qualified. She has been enrolled in OHP herself at some point, so she has both the professional and the personal aspects, and I would recommend that we approve Savannah Kate's application to become a member of the LCAC. I move to, we said,
Second.
So there's no limit on the amount of people that can be on this board, correct? So the more, actually better off for Harney.
More. Yep.
Savannah works for Harney District Council right now?
we often, we want to get more people who are people who are members of the services and are not necessarily people that work for the institutions. That's a struggle. The goal would be to have 50-50, and we're always open for more people to join, but it's a struggle to get people to do that.
Moved and seconded to approve Savannah Kate to local community advisory council. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
And I'll make sure that this gets to them, so she's on all the notifications. Thank you.
Item 4, matter of approving the revised Harney County investment policy. We had this investment policy presented to us by County Treasurer Bobby Joe a couple months ago. We approved it. We didn't know at that time if we just worked it into a policy manual, or if we did it by resolution. Policy manuals are kind of few and far between here. Everything seems to be a resolution type process. So while he was following up, he said we finish this, put this to sleep.
So I revised the policy in November of 18. I submitted it to the Oregon State Treasury for their approval. I got approval in April of 19. I presented it in August of this year. And then there was discussion as to, is a resolution or policy, and I consulted with Tim, and he said either way, but I have the resolution done, so I'm presenting it again for your approval.
Tim said, yeah, it was fine. I just made it a legal resolution, but it seems to be the most common practice.
I really appreciate your work on this, Bobby Joe. You know, it's nice to have the investment policy, and I know we looked at it carefully back then, and so I would move to, in the matter of approving the revised Harney County Investment Policy Resolution 2019-34, I would move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve resolution 2019-34 in the matter of approving the revised Harney County investment policy. Any further discussion?
Thanks, Bob.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Any opposed? Motion carried. resolution due to unexpected funds arriving in public health department, Oregon Health Authority.
So, Colleen came to me and the health department was, is receiving additional funding for the Oregon Health Authority. It is to be used to plan for the full implementation of public health modernization and to implement strategies to improve the local infrastructure to control communicable disease and reduce health disparities. This fiscal year, they're estimated to receive $17,812. So we created a new revenue line, but we're not appropriating that money to spend, it's just additional revenues coming in.
And this is a one-time.
This is, it's a biennium, so they're, estimated to receive $39,000 for the biennium ending June of 2021. And I believe it is an ongoing thing for the future.
Yeah, well, they usually go in 5-year, the public health modernization, they're doing 5-year increments and stuff, so we may see it years 3 and 4 and 5. Never bet on it.
And so we talked about this because I know we're not appropriating funds, we're just receiving additional funds, but we just thought for transparency and because it's new monies that an explanation as to what it is a good idea.
So my question would be, and Bobby, you might not be the correct one to answer, is if these funds have been earmarked specifically for communicable disease, reduce health disparities, do we have to have any reporting that we use these funds for that?
I believe Jolene would be.
So I'm assuming that we're planning on budgeting this next year in order to use that?
The way that she explained it to me is that a lot of the things that they're already doing
They're
fall
already
into
lined
this
items.
category. So,
I'm not saying that, I'm glad we're not spending it, I just want to make sure we don't have any wiggle room that have to spend it.
The communicable disease, we have those lines, we do the work through there. They don't have, identify any urgent needs that we would turn right around and spend. So, basically just receiving the revenue for program to carry on.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2019-35 in the matter of estimating revenue to unexpected occurrences or conditions.
I second.
Moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2019-35 in the matter of estimating revenue due to an unexpected occurrence or condition. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6. One more for Bobby. This one, yeah. Early learning, the money that it receives comes through us and goes to the ESD. It's been it's just nothing but paperwork and time for us. Donna Schnicker began the process, it's a year and a half ago, to take us out of being the middleman. It just should go from the state to the ELC, the ESD. And she began that process, and they told her it would be a year and a half, 2-year process. So looking at last year's amount of money that flowed through us, that's basically what we budgeted this year, thinking it's gonna dwindle away and go away. Well, we've got a ton of money coming to this account, and we need to do this resolution to acknowledge this. Do you remember what we budgeted?
I want to say around 21,000.
Yeah. And so far we've seen,
Oh,
well,
11,500.
so far we've seen well over 300,000 go through here.
And the reason for that is they got a new directors of the monies who's doing a request. And the previous director would request on a regular basis quarterly. The new gal decided to request annually. And so we got an influx of money early on that was really all for their last year. Anyway, but hopefully think I got the last payment and paid it off today, so we may be.
We've always been in contact with them, we think we are,
I think
There,
we're
we
done.
should
I
have to
think
be in
that
our-
they'll be receiving it from here.
should have to be in our budget next year.
And it originally, back when the early learning hub started, the county was, a part of the application process. It's a grant and Harney thing, but over the years, it's become strictly a Department of Ed endeavor. And it's, at this point, if we continue to play a part that we don't wanna play, let's charge them an admin fee and see if that'll move things along. No, thank you, I know everyone's trying, it's just incredible that it takes so long with that change. I support this resolution, I love the transparency of doing these things, Bobby Joe, I do appreciate it. It keeps our budget clean and our processes, so I move to approve resolution number 2019-36 in the matter of appropriating funds due to unexpected occurrence or condition, the ELC Hub Fund 227 in the amount of $338,500.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2019-36. In the matter of appropriating funds due to unexpected occurrence or condition, ELC Hub Fund 227, in the amount of $338,500. Further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Bobby, before you leave, we had to transfer some funds out of the road reserve in order to get us through till taxes came. Has that been paid back in full? I knew the answer to that, that's
And so we,
all I had.
with our
That's how you.
budget issues, we had set up a pass a resolution to borrow money from the road reserve up to 1.5 million. We only had to use 500,000, and it was to be paid back in December, which was done last Friday.
That's fine.
And really, I think we're turning a corner, made a lot of right choices, and the next 6 months will tell us for sure. Okay. Water use requests?
Yeah, they look, looking out of the ordinary, reviewing them, surface water transfers, temporary point of diversion changes, and some BLM cleaning procedures.
You were right at the last meeting, we've seen the last of those, I think,
Yeah, there's a time frame on the ones that
the
were,
originals.
there were 38 pending applications.
Scheduling. Again, what, January 1st, one on Wednesday, we can county court to the 8th.
For the ninth,
Or the 9th, we won't know again, still won't know that until the 31st, if there's any files.
one of these board of appeals.
Right. Marked. And if we do have a filing,
I believe we had a petition filed yesterday.
so we gotta go to class on the 8th, and court will be held on the 9th.
So when you say we venture loosely?
All three of us. In Mend. I think.
Yes, it is indeed. Yeah. You may not need to go.
Okay. Is that already done once?
It won't be heard until February.
Yeah, it won't be heard until February.
Oh, that's,
And we'd only need one of you, so that it's the chairperson's board, so one of you would serve as chairperson, and then the other two members are sitting in the board. If you'd rather delegate one of you to do that, you can do that. So you don't all need to do it if you don't want to.
I think it'd be great for people to do that.
Make a motion.
You asking me to delegate?
I'd like you to come to a consensus and decide which one of you would serve as chairman of the Board of Public Health.
You're me. Let me.
I've had too much FaceTime lately. Just kidding.
Okay, so yeah, January meetings are 2nd and 4th. Well, first, 2nd Thursday and 4th Wednesday, looks like Anything else from Commissioner?
Well, excuse me, is that all right with you?
Yes, it's fine.
So you're saying for the 9th in January?
You're pretty sure we're gonna have a,
Yeah, we have.
okay, yeah, then we got open. We all kept that date open. That, we have an executive session scheduled for 11:30, we'll break. And the executive session is under ORS 192.66028. Consult with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
I'll get some minutes up, good.
Yeah, good, really.
Good, you're looking at it upside down?
Yeah.